Hello, you guys.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to tonight's training, you guys. If we have not met before, I am Becky Graff.
And I am Tim Graff.
You guys, tonight we're going to be talking about how to get past the invisible barrier that might just be keeping you stuck. We've talked about this with a lot of other entrepreneurs, a lot of leaders. You know, that cycle of you're getting all fired up, you're getting to work, you're getting after it, and then all of a sudden, a short time later, you're finding yourself stuck again. What is it? What is it that keeps pulling you back into that? Okay, we're going to be talking about a simple four-step process that successful entrepreneurs are using to motivate themselves and get past that invisible barrier.
Yeah, when they find themselves in that stuck spot, this is kind of the formula that they go through to help them get unstuck so that they can actually move forward. And every time they hit that stuck state, this is kind of the process that they go through to help keep moving. Okay, it's kind of like that when you're out on the four-wheeler, okay, and you're in the mud bog and you get stuck. It's that winch that you kind of throw out there around that tree to pull yourself out and move on to the next mud hole, right?
Yeah, so it really truly is a four-step recipe for success.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and share that with you because, again, when you're building your business, a lot of times, a lot of people, and I'm curious if you're one of these, you start doing like 90-day runs, okay? Yep. You have a plan, you spend some time putting that plan together, and then you run hard for 90 days, and then the run is over. And you find yourself just kind of sitting there like, okay, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it that allows you to build up that energy to do it again? Okay, and is that really effective, or might there be a more effective way to move through this process? That is what we're going to discuss tonight. As you're hopping on, please let us know where you're coming in from so we can give you a shout out. We see you out there watching us. We'd love to have some interaction, so please
go you guys say hello.
Yes.
We love it when you guys interact. It makes it a lot more fun for us and hopefully for you. You learn something.
So what might these steps be? Okay, first off, if you're building a business, kind of goes to stand that there's some sort of plan that you need to have in play, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And if you have a plan, is it reasonable that there are certain steps or behaviors that go into that plan?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know about you, but anytime I'm doing a recipe, cooking something, or I have a plan of something I'm wanting to build, even if it's just doing laundry, there is a process that goes into it, right? Hey, David.
Hey, David. Thanks for hopping on, bud. It's great to see you.
Yes. So there's a process for any plan. If you want clean clothes, right? If that's your plan, you want clean clothes, there's a process of sorting the laundry, putting a specific in, okay, picking a very specific type of water for that as well before you add your clothes, and then it runs through a very specific amount of time before then you transfer it to the dryer, okay? And
if you do that backwards, it doesn't really work.
No, it doesn't work at all.
Nor does it, any way other than actually taking the clothes, putting them in the wash, adding the soap. There is a step-by-step process, right? And they go in order of priority. Because if you're doing it backwards, it doesn't make sense to dry the clothes, put them in the wash, let them spin in some water, and then add soap after they're done. I mean, it's completely crazy, right?
Right? Is this making sense to you guys? It's kind of a silly analogy, but the fact still remains. If you want success in your business, just like if you want successfully cleaned clothes, there is a process, there are steps that go into it. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, they get these steps kind of
backwards,
out of order, and it doesn't really flow as well as what they'd like to. So really, we want to talk priority.
Yep.
Okay. Step number one.
That's actually step number one.
Yes.
Yep.
Step number one is based on the goal, the result that you want to have. Okay. That clean laundry that you want. Okay. What is the most important step to do first?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Because a lot of times in our businesses, we have things to do. How many of you have lists out there? Let me know.
Lots of lists.
How many lists do you have in the comments?
Over here.
Okay. How many lists do you have of things to do?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's do a Facebook Live, make connections, send out friend requests. Okay. There's a
maybe
list.
You're getting going and you have a laundry list of trainings to go through. Okay. And all this stuff that you feel like you need to go through before you can actually take that action. Okay. It all comes down to really brainstorming on a piece of paper and finding out which one of those trainings is going to help you move forward the fastest. Okay. Or what's going to get you to actually taking that action, feeling confident enough to take that action, because you guys, taking action is actually, you're going to learn a lot more by taking action than you are by simply reading a book or simply going through a training or anything like that. All the content that you put into your head doesn't actually work until you put it into action.
Yeah.
So what steps are going to get you there quicker to taking that action?
Yeah. So number one, you guys, is what behaviors need to take priority.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, first you have to have a desired result that you want. Okay?
Exactly. Yep.
Once you've got that identified, what behaviors must you do in order to get there? And then number one specifically is which ones take priority?
One comes first? Yep.
Okay. Because again, as Tim's talking about, we can get stuck in learning mode, right? Yep. We can be habitual learners and learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. And how many of you are guilty of that? I can raise my hand. Okay.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing, for a lot of people, that transition from learning mode to doing mood is very Mood is very scary.
It's kind of a mood.
It's scary, right? Because it's out of our comfort zone. Potentially it's something we've read about,
right?
We've heard, we've watched a video on, but then us doing it ourselves, ooh, right? That's a level of discomfort, but that's where growth happens. So number one is to take an inventory.
Prioritize.
Which behaviors need to be prioritized. Number two is setting expectations.
For yourself and for others.
Now, here's the thing. With this, when we work and talk with clients, okay, the expectations of I didn't get anything done because, right? How many of you guys have a story like that? Let me know. Drop it in the comments if that's
Drop me
you.
a 1 in the comments.
Okay.
Actually, drop me a 2 because 1 was for prioritize.
Whether that's kids got in the way, okay, or I had family in town. That's not one right now, right? I couldn't leave, and so my kids are driving me up a wall. Okay, I have other things that I have to do now that I don't have childcare. There's a lot of different things that you might be dealing with now. So setting expectations, not only others, okay, you know, setting those office hours if you need to, but also of yourself.
With the spouse, with the kids, those that are around us. Maybe it's a partner, okay, a business partner.
Now that you're at home and you're working, what is your expectation of yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Has your time that you have to commit to your business shifted? Hey, Whit, the dirty. I think I will like this live.
Yes.
It's the dirty dash, Whit. Mine is what is it? Half marathon. There's Moab trails. We got our running gear on tonight.
I was going to say we were supposed to run a half marathon last weekend, so we're feeling it. So we're in lieu of.
Okay, but honestly, you guys, setting those expectations not only of yourself, because who is the owner of your business?
Yeah. Okay.
Is it somebody else's responsibility to make sure that there's no distractions?
Yeah.
Is it somebody else's responsibility to make sure that you stay on task and you get those things done that you need to? Okay. This comes down to self-ownership and protecting the time that you've designated for your business.
Yep.
Now, for some of you, that might take a little bit of creativity. Okay. Because kids are home. Again, I know that's something that we have worked on here in school with us here while doing our business and everything else has called for some creativity and some communication and expectations that, you know, we're going to do school hours here. Mom's here to help you. And then I need to go do certain other tasks. And Tim and I have worked within each other's to make sure that those things are met. So,
and another great thing to do specifically with maybe a spouse, maybe the kids, is to actually, say, okay, this time is set aside for mommy's business, daddy's business. Okay. Once that's complete, then I have this time that we'll go do something. Maybe it's, we'll go grab a bite to eat, or we'll go get an ice cream or something like that.
Or we'll go on a bike ride.
So if you do those, or a bike ride or whatever is going to be a small reward, not only for yourself for actually protecting your time and getting that work done, okay, but it's also a reward for them saying, okay, mom's got to get some work done, but then after I get something out of this too.
Yes.
And so it helps. It's something that we have actually done with our kids, and it really helps out a lot.
Yeah. So those expectations, again, of self and others is very, very important because if you don't protect your time and if you don't expect the time that you have to be used effectively, your business is not going to move forward in a effective manner. You're going to start seeing that I feel stuck, I feel overwhelmed. All of those things will start happening because you haven't set the time aside, protected that time so that you can actually do the tasks necessary to move your business forward.
And then you guys, number 3, I touched on it a little bit earlier. Okay. It's actually taking action, but not just taking action, it's consistent action.
And to add on to that, it's intentionally.
Yes.
Okay. You take intentional and consistent action.
And this is kind of touching a little bit on what Becky mentioned earlier as well of, you do those 90-day blitzes. Okay. And you get just running, so to speak, also again with the shirts, where, but, okay, but you get in this mode of I got work to do, and you push for 90 days. And then once that 90 days is over, you kind of go, step back, I'm done. Thank goodness, wipe it off the brow. But then the problem with that is you actually take a step back. Your audience will notice it, you'll notice it. And a lot of times you end up taking a step too far back to the point where you have to get going again.
It's kind of like that rubber band effect. Have you ever used a rubber band where you've stretched it back, right? You let it go.
Yep.
Okay. Stretching it back takes a little bit of work.
Yep.
Okay. Once you let it go, you're flying.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, you stop.
And it eventually goes boom.
Okay. But honestly,
and you have to do it all over again.
Yeah. It's talking about that comfort zone again,
Yep.
getting stuck in learning mode, getting stuck in watching mode,
Exactly.
getting stuck in the place of there's so much to do, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
Taking action takes effort, and the more effort that you give gradually, consistently,
Yes.
the more effective you are moving forward because you don't have as much drag.
It's more important to go, okay, what do I have time for? Okay, I can do, for instance, I can do, this many hours, or I can do this many Facebook Lives a week, and then stay consistent with that and do it week to week to week to week.
Yes.
Your audience gets used to seeing you consistently week after week at the same times, or at the same time frame, okay, or the same days of the week, whatever that looks like. But it's being consistent with what it is you're doing so that your audience sees it. You get in that consistent action, and it's easier for you to take that action moving forward.
Yep. And you guys,
instead of this stop, go effect.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a standard transmission when a new driver's learning how to drive? Okay. You don't want your business to be jerky like that.
Exactly.
Whiplash all the time. Okay.
Constant whiplash.
So by using these 4 steps, okay, we've covered 1 through 3 so far.
Yes.
By following these steps, it allows you to have consistent motivation and movement, okay, traction in your business.
Exactly.
Step 4 is very important once you've done 1 through 3, is to evaluate what is working about the behaviors that you've been doing. Okay.
Yes.
Is setting the expectation of yourself and others. What's working about that for you?
Yep.
Okay. What's not? And what might you need to switch and change? Because again, your business is your life, and your life is probably your business. If you're looking for a lifestyle business, they meld together. And so what does that dream business look like? Okay, how many hours a week are you working? How can you start bringing those pieces now and evaluate the behaviors that you're doing now? Is it getting you closer to that? What's working about it to move you closer, or what's not? What might you need to consider doing differently? And
this is a really big, important piece that a lot of your high-end leaders, okay, this is when we started the live at the beginning, we were talking about kind of that four-wheeler effect. You get stuck in the mud and then they get out. This is a really important piece to getting unstuck, to getting out of that mud, is doing that evaluation. It's going, okay, what worked about this? What did not work? And what might I do differently tomorrow or next time? Okay. It's actually sitting down and evaluating those 3 worked, what did not, and what can I do differently. And that a lot of times just in itself will get you unstuck and get you moving. Yeah.
And again, it is a very critical piece. Being stuck, and it doesn't matter if it's stuck in a mental space or whether you're stuck in a specific task or behavior. That evaluation piece, that 3-2-1 that Tim just shared with you, what worked, what didn't, what might I do differently? Okay. That is a number 1 thing to get you. It is like that winch, okay, to pop you out of the mud, to get you to a place where you're resourceful, your brain is resourceful, so you can actually start taking action now.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's the 4-step process. Number 1, what behaviors do I need to do and which ones take priority? Okay. Prioritization of those.
Number 2, set expectations with yourself and with others. Okay. It'll help you protect that time and to be able to kind of you'll be able to get those tasks done in that set time, but you'll also be able to, don't forget to reward yourself for what gets done and others. Okay. It also helps with that.
Yes. And number 4 is, three. Number 3 is to take intentional and consistent action, because consistent action is great, but what is the intention? How come you're showing up for your audience? How come you're doing friend requests? What is that ultimate thing that you are wanting to achieve? Okay. What is the intention behind it?
Number 4, you guys evaluate. Remember to take a look at what worked about what I did, what didn't work, and what might I do differently.
But there's a key word in there. What worked about what I did. Okay. What didn't work about what I did, and what might I do differently. Again, this is ownership. Whose business is this?
Exactly.
Okay. Again, this is about you as a business owner getting traction in your business. Okay. You guys, we appreciate you spending some time. Appreciate you, David, for the hearts,
and everybody else that's hopped on. We appreciate you spending a few minutes
out there watching. We appreciate that. Okay. Make sure you join us for tomorrow, because we're going to be talking about the 3 questions you must ask yourself in order to have a successful and thriving online business. Okay. So make sure you join us here tomorrow around the same time, which is 7 Eastern. Okay. And we will see you there.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.